Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about how Bitcoin, for the first time in a very long time, has finally broken correlation to the equity indices and or the stock market. You guys, this is so bullish in my eyes, and this is just another reminder to me of why BTC is in fact king and why it will reign as a single best asset class of 2021. So we do have a few things I want to cover with you guys today, so let's get straight into it. As always, we'll quickly go over some of the topics we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, as always, TradingView, where we'll cover the following names today in this order, going down the watch list, talking technicals, talking price action, talking good old price targets to both the upside and downside, okay? Kicking it off, of course, with the king, BTC. We got to kick it off with BTC, you guys. Again, the fact that it broke correlation with equities today is something I've been personally looking for such a long time, and this is bullish both fundamentally and technically, okay? So, again, I do think that the possibility, if you guys have been tuning into the channel over the past week, the possibility of this short-term head and shoulders playing out is still in the cards. But after today's price action, again, from both a fundamental and technical perspective, I'm way more glass half full at this point as opposed to glass half empty. So price targets to the upside are very bullish. Price targets to the downside isn't all that bad. But ultimately, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin right now. I'll just say that much, okay? So we'll talk about Bitcoin, and then we're not actually going to be taking a look today at the equity indices. So the S&P 500, SPX, DJI, Dow Jones, NDAQ, NASDAQ, all the equity indices were down today, and they're actually down even more in after hours, which, again, if you've been tuning into the channel, I've been preaching how I'm shorting the equity markets, and this is so validating to see. It feels so good to see this, and it feels even better to see Bitcoin outperforming and seeing inverse correlation to the equity market. So we are going to take a look at these today. I will make a video tomorrow covering the equity indices, because I do believe tomorrow, Thursday, will be a pretty bloody day in the equity markets. So I will save that for tomorrow. Again, excited for that one, but I do want to take a look at the DXY after we take a look at Bitcoin, okay? So the DXY, this is what's so bullish as well, is the fact that the US dollar is going up in value, and Bitcoin is going up in value as well. Those are usually inversely correlated, which is just another bullish fundamental, technical, whatever you want to call it. It dances in the middle of both fundamentals and technicals of why this is just so bullish for Bitcoin from a macro perspective, okay? So that is the more macro. Then we're going to jump into some of our favorite stocks in the entire market. That did see some love today, corrected over the course of the day, but that's all right. Better buying opportunities long term. Marathon Patent Group. Marathon, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. We'll take a look at it after. Marathon, oh my goodness. Marathon, I'm blanking on the name. I'm sorry, guys. Good old Mara, and then RIOT Blockchain, RIOT, and then XNET or Junlei and CWRK. Okay, so some of my personal favorite crypto stocks in the market. You guys, I know there's a lot of others out there. I see you guys commenting about them. These are what I trade personally, and these are what I'm going to talk about. But I don't discount the fact that, Canaan, MicroStrategy, there's a lot of other exciting plays out there as well, okay? SOS, whatever. But these are the ones we're going to be covering today. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'm stoked to get into these charts with you, okay? So before we do get into the charts, though, I do want to read through the intro to this morning's newsletter. I actually want to read the intro in my Bitcoin analysis. So Bitcoin is king, just to give you guys, just to kind of preface the video before we dive into Bitcoin, okay? So let's just do that right now. Eventful day, Waves fam. The markets are an exciting place to be right now. Enjoy the ride. The equity markets are seeing some red, while Bitcoin has proven me wrong and reminded me that it is the strongest asset on the planet, the king. So again, you guys, if you've been tuning into the channel over the past week or so, you know that I am short-term bearish on Bitcoin. That definitely flipped the script today. But I will talk to you guys about why there's still the possibility of a little short-term pullback. But again, I'm ultimately medium to long-term bullish and way more bullish even after today, okay? So I remain short-term bearish on equities. Again, that held true. But I flipped bullish on BTC. It feels good to have the majority of my troops back on offense, but again, I remain bearish on equity, so I will still have a solid chunk of capital dedicated to my hedge positions. So again, you guys, VIXI calls SPX outputs if you've been watching the previous videos. Anyway, again, we'll just dive straight into Bitcoin is king. BTC, not BTC, it's KING. So BTC did in fact break my reversal target of 52K, but it did not close a 4 hour above it. We will talk about that a little more once we get into the shorter term time frames on the charts, all right? There's still a chance that this head and shoulders plays out, but my perspective is now glass half full as opposed to glass half empty. Glass half empty. The primary fundamental for argument for Bitcoin after today's price action isn't institutions. It isn't adoption from a big bank. It's the fact that it's broken correlation with the equity markets. This is huge, and this speaks magnitudes to positive investor sentiment surrounding this asset. I haven't altered any of my direct Bitcoin holdings, but I definitely made some plays on a few of our favorite crypto-related stocks. Anyway, we'll talk about those when we actually dive into the charts. Okay, so just wanted to preface that for you guys. Again, for me personally, this is something that in the past I've always looked for, and it's always been such a bullish indicator for the medium term, for the not always for the short term, but definitely for the medium to long term, when you see a break in correlation of the equity markets and Bitcoin. Okay, so again, just very bullish here. I want to make that as if I'm not emphasizing that enough. That to me is a very, very important indicator for performance of this bull market of 2021. Okay. All right, before we do dive into the charts, as always, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today, or if you're excited about Bitcoin breaking correlation like I am. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to catch more content like this. And of course, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter, first link down in the description. If you want a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio, all call options, put options, stock positions, crypto positions that I do update every single trading day during market hours. And with every update, I send out a pretty comprehensive newsletter that will look just exactly like this with a bunch of other plays below it as well, explaining my thoughts, talking to you guys about what I feel is important in the market, talking to you guys about my trades, rationalizing my decisions behind the trades I'm making, and yeah, just letting you guys know whatever I think is important. So that is $15 a month if you're interested in that at all. Again, first link in the description. Appreciate it if you check that out. One more thing that I haven't talked about in a while, but it's been really fun. I do hop in here around 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time every day. It's the Exclusive Waves Discord. So this is just fun. It's a little more intimate. It's where I'm definitely the most engaged of any platform and just talk to you guys directly. So again, that link is down in the description as well. Appreciate it if you check that out. But also, no worries if not. So that said, plugs out of the way. Let's dive into these charts again. Kicking it off with BTC, looking beautiful right now. Again, you guys, BTC is up significantly on the day. So we'll actually start short term, get the little potential bearish short term price target out of the way, and then zoom out to the good stuff, the top side price targets, which could lead to 6 figures over the course of the month. Okay. So BTC right here, ever since it did, this was the first, this is kind of the first alarm, but I wasn't sure if this was a bull trap or not. And it's looking like it was not a bull trap, and we are just going to continue the upside. So as you guys know, Bitcoin, since its high back on February 21st, wasn't a downtrend. Once it broke above this downtrend, I was a little worried that not worried, but that was my first indicator that we were going to continue the move up. And right here on this move up, since we saw the short-term reversal, you are seeing higher highs, higher lows. TA 101, that is beautiful. You can see if we zoom in right here, not going to zoom in a lot, but this is a nice bull flag that Bitcoin looks to be printing on the short term, on the 4 hours right here. Again, parabolic move up, descending triangle. It's likely we break out from here. So by the time you guys watch this, that will probably be resolved. So we'll know if I'm right or wrong there. But there's a few things I'm looking at here that I'm still a little worried about, that I do think that I do see as somewhat of a reason that Bitcoin could play out the short-term head and shoulders pattern, which would lead to the downside around here, around like 40,000 on the dot. Okay, so left shoulder right here, span 10 days. Head right here was the peak, Bitcoin's recent all-time high, followed by the right shoulder, which will span 10 days. If this plays out at exactly 10 days, that would be on Friday. Okay, so this will be resolved on Friday if it does happen to play out as a head and shoulders. Maybe this weekend, but it's likely that the right shoulder will mirror the left shoulder in most head and shoulder situations. Regardless, the thing that makes me think that is that Bitcoin was rejected by this exact area, which was the high candle of the left shoulder. So the right shoulder's high candle immediately got rejected by the left shoulder's high candle, which still, which still gives me the impression to think that we could see this could still play out. It's not cleared. Again, we cleared that 4 hour. We did clear 52K, as I mentioned yesterday, but we didn't close a 4 hour candle above that. If we can close a 4 hour candle above, say 53K, if we pop up here, which is very, very likely if we play out this bull flag as expected, if we pop up and can close a 4 hour above 53K just to play it safe, then it is confirmed to me, it's straight up confirmed to me that we are once again in this uptrend, and this short to medium term uptrend will continue. Okay. Another reason that I think it's still likely we play out is that the macro, the medium term right here, this head and shoulders, this low right here is lower than the previous low. So this is technically a medium term lower low, which is also a little sketchy in my opinion. Okay. So again, you guys, it's still possible. I'm definitely leaning towards the direction of the upside, of course, but I'm not discounting the fact that this is possible. Regardless, if we come down here, I think we'll go sideways for a little bit, regain some investor sentiment, and then we'll ultimately go up. So let's talk about these topside price targets. Going to Mars, baby. Topside price target. So this purple line right here has acted as a significant line of both resistance and support for Bitcoin in the past. I do think that this will pose a slight threat. I do think we'll probably bounce off this a little bit, but I think it's not going to be tough to clear it, considering all the momentum behind Bitcoin right now. So that would be, if we hit it by March 5th on Friday, that would be about 55K. So if we can get through this, if we can hit like 56K, just to keep it simple, if we can clear 56K, I think we're going. I think it's very, very likely that we're ultimately going to go up to test the overall line of resistance on this uptrend, all right? And that would take us to, I don't really need to explain this here. Again, line of resistance on the overall uptrend beginning in mid-December. This would take us to, if we hit it, mid-March. So I have mid-March and late March for all price targets we're going to be talking about today for the most part, all right? Mid-March, that would take us to 94,000 Bitcoin. Late March, end of March, we would clear six figures, baby, and we'd love to see it. So March 27th, we would be at let's go exactly 100K on this line. 100K would be on March 21st. That'd be awesome to see. So again, you guys, it's all dependent. Topside price targets are always dependent upon when Bitcoin ultimately does decide to come up and test the overall line of resistance. But I don't think it's out of the possibility at all, but at the end of the month, to see $100,000 Bitcoin. Again, you guys, just all things considered, there's so many stars aligning for BTC right now, which is just super exciting. And again, we will take a look at the equity indices tomorrow. SPX, again, SPXL is personally what I'm shorting right now. VIXI was what I'm longing, the inverse correlation. VIXI and Bitcoin both performing beautifully today, so you love to see that. Again, shout out Waves family. Today was a good day. We needed this day for real. So moving on, Marathon Patent Group. Good old Marathon Digital Holdings. I was going to say like Marathon Technology or something. So Marathon Digital Holdings, I'm pretty embarrassed I forgot that, honestly, because I've been saying it all freaking day. But Marathon Digital Holdings, just so used to Marathon Patent. Marathon Digital Holdings, I think we can all agree, way, way better name than Marathon Patent Group. So that's good to see here. Mara is dancing nicely. This orange line right here has historically acted as a line of resistance, both resistance and support for Mara. Definitely on the 4 hours, it's very visible here. And Mara, you can see, is finding a lot of strength around this area and really dancing nicely on this line of support. You can see Mara is also printing a pretty nice bull flag right here. Parabolic move up, little descending triangle that will probably be resolved tomorrow, especially if Bitcoin does perform well. So Mara, topside price target, very simple, using the overall line of resistance similar to Bitcoin. Again, late November, you got this touch point here, this touch point here. Very, very bullish. This is the most optimistic price target, but I feel way more comfortable talking to you guys about this price target, and this is honestly what I'm betting on personally. So if we hit this March 22nd, again, just mid to late March 22nd, keep in mind, you guys, I believe Mara's earnings call is on March 22nd. And RIOT's is on March 24th. So keep a close eye on those guys. Keep a close eye on that, because I do believe they will both impress significantly on earnings, especially if Bitcoin is increasing in value over the course of this month. So very, very bullish times for both RIOT and Mara. Topside price target for Marathon Patent Group by mid to late March remains at $65. Moving on to RIOT. Downside, I don't think RIOT, actually, now that I'm like, again, just pulling out this chart, sometimes I just see things right off the bat. So RIOT is looking like it wants to play out a little Boolau flag right here, okay? So RIOT, let's go purple, because the bull flags are always purple. Purple, make this a little smaller. So boom, boom. Again, parabolic move up followed by that descending triangle right here. I wouldn't be surprised, in all honesty, if RIOT might come down. If Bitcoin does fall a little more, RIOT might come down a little more, but I think by the end of this week, by tomorrow probably, RIOT will ultimately resolve this bull flag. Again, parabolic move up. This is a pretty solid looking bull flag to me right here. Again, you could almost move this a little higher, like right there. So again, as far as upside to downside, asymmetric risk, that's something I talked about a lot in this morning's newsletter specifically, but asymmetric risk profile for all these plays that we're talking about, which means that the upside potential significantly outweighs the downside risk. That's what I always look for, especially as a swing trader, all right? And I think for RIOT, Mara, all the plays we're talking about today, the upside potential significantly outweighs the downside risk. Keep in mind, just my opinion. This is not direct advice. Always do your own research, all that jazz. But this entire sector is looking very good to me right now. Okay, so RIOT, topside price target, if we do test the overall line of, I think this cyan line right here will pose a slight threat to RIOT in the short term, but I think that if there is enough momentum behind these plays, that RIOT will easily clear through this. So just say by March like 5th, We might see some resistance around the $70 region. That goes for early next week as well, around the $70 to $72 region. But if we do break through that, if we can break Riot's previous high at $79 definitely, then it's very, very likely to me that by March 26th, so a few days after Riot's earnings call, if Riot really impresses, I think we could see a $127 Riot. It's crazy, you guys. We were talking about Riot at sub $2, and it's just crazy to see how far Riot's come over time. And if it does hit a $1.25, we're pretty much looking at 100x, and that's insane. And not even options. That is a stock play, which is crazy. That is a great venture investment. Okay, so that is Riot. Let's move on to Jinlei or XNET. XNET just not really seeing much love lately. Please load. But XNET is a great example of an asymmetric risk profile, in my opinion. XNET is dancing beautifully on this line of support. It's found a lot of strength around this line of support right here. Is XNET up in after hours? No, it's actually down a little bit in after hours. So XNET, because XNET is more of a blockchain play, it is likely going to be more associated with the tech sector. That's kind of the downside of both XNET and CWRK. Mara and Riot are going to be more closely related to Bitcoin. It's going to be like a combination of Bitcoin and tech. But XNET and CWRK are probably going to be a little closer related. The negativity from the general markets, from the equities markets, specifically, again, the tech sector, is probably going to bleed over a little bit into XNET and CWRK. That said, still very bullish on both. From an asymmetric risk perspective, XNET is dancing perfectly on the lower line of support right here. As you can see, long-term at the beginning of the year. Very strong line of support. You can see it dancing over here like a lot. And XNET is currently right there, like almost exactly on top of it. I personally picked up a solid chunk of XNET today, both calls and stock position, and I again, there's always a potential for downside, but I think the upside potential significantly outweighs the downside risk. Topside price target for XNET by the end of March, if it tests this line of resistance, is going to be about $16. Okay, so keep it simple there. Keep it simple, and yeah, let's straight up let's move on. CWRK, Currency Works. So Currency Works is the play out of all the ones we're going to be talking about today that I do think could see us a little bit more downside to both play out this bull flag. So bull flag right here, you guys, this, if you were around back in, when was that, like May? This is exactly what Riot blockchain looked like back in May, like April, May time, before it really, well, it was already popping off, but before it really took off, like April, May of 2020. This is exactly what Riot blockchain looked like, and that's why this is very exciting to me. So XNET, from a purely technical perspective, I do think it'd come down a little more to test the overall line of support on the uptrend. I actually think it's pretty likely if we hit that by the end of the week. If XNET happens to tank, that would take us down to like 94 cents. If we do come to perfectly close out this bull flag, again, big move up followed by a ascending triangle, and meet this line of support at the same time on March 11th. Shout out my bro, that's his birthday. That'll take us to about $1. So downside, if XNET, or if CWRK, I'm sorry, if Currency Works comes back down to $1, that is very, very, very bullish in my opinion. And I'm picking up a huge bag of CWRK personally at $1. Because again, there's so much fundamental momentum. CWRK's a cool company. They help companies tokenize their projects. So very, very exciting times there. And yeah, I'm just excited about all these plays. So topside price target for CWRK buy. Let's go to the end of the month. Let's stretch this out a little more because this is a very, very exciting price target. This is a little more conservative, I guess. We'll go with this one because it's more conservative. I feel safer telling you guys this. March 30th, that would take us to a $3 CWRK. Obviously $3 from where we're at now at 1.2. Is this all 2.5x, which is an amazing return short term for a stock play. Okay, so once again, very clear. This is just my opinion. This is how I'm personally dictating these markets, but always know that my money is on what I'm saying. And I'm very excited to see what pans out. Again, I will talk to you guys tomorrow about some of the equity indices and about, again, how I'm hedging my positions. I'm on offensive defense right now, and again, some of these defensive plays I think will pay off big time tomorrow. They paid off very nicely today, and if all goes accordingly, if the equity indices do continue to fall like I believe they will fall tomorrow as well. So again, if you guys do want my real-time updates, if you don't want to wait till like nighttime, I post this at like 6 p.m. Hawaii time, so it's a little later for most of you guys who are watching. If you do want real updates from me, again, real-time trades, complete portfolio, Discord, I'm on there all morning. I'm busting ass, to be honest, and I take a lot of pride in the groups we have and in the Waves family and in the community around here. Okay, so yeah, check those out. Once again, first links in the description, but also please let me know in the comments down below what you're excited about tomorrow, if you think the markets are going to be bloody, if you think crypto is going to rip. Bitcoin right now is climbing. It's looking good. It's looking like we will in fact break out. Let's actually go a little bonus quick. Let's go to the 1 hour because I want to see if this is playing out. So this is a beautiful like bull flag right here. Again, I'm just going to draw this one. Okay, so we're almost there. If we break above this, I think if we broke above this, we're breaking out, and this is playing out as a bull flag. Okay, so again, you guys, just to play it safe, a 4-hour closure at least above 53,000 is my personal signal for the fact that Bitcoin will very, very likely continue the short to medium term uptrend. All right, so again, just a little closing words. Please let me know what you think down below, what your favorite stock plays in the sector are, whatever you want to talk about. Always love learning from you guys. Always love talking shop with you guys, and I'm gonna go hop in the Discord right now. So until next time, you guys, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.